Shalom, 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 shalom. As always, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all the praises and the glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kadash, double honors to the apostles and to our elders of Great Millstone who are leading this word in truth and in spirit and in sincerity. As always, Kal Halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah Kadash. Yahweh is the Most High's name. Yahweh Shai is the name of the Son, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. Yahweh is the Most High God. Yahweh Shai is the Son of the Most High. Today, edification, foreshadowing of the MOTB. Foreshadowing of the MOTB, Diia in DC conference. For those of you that don't know what Diia is an app. It is an app that they're using. I'm gonna play the video so you can actually see what it's about. It's it's a digital app which is being used in Ukraine, which has gone full live now in Ukraine, all throughout Ukraine now, for them to use, for Ukrainians to use to pay for their bills, to apply for loans, to host their passports, to host their driving license, to host their national insurance number, what you would call in America, social security number, to host their bank accounts, to apply for loans, to pay for their bills. It's a system that's being funded by the USAID, United States government, USAID, all right? And the groundwork for Diia to become what it is today through investment in digital public infrastructure, cybersecurity, and data privacy laws and regulations. Basically, this is what they're saying, right? To strengthen and to expand the skills of government officials and engagement with their citizens and civil society. So what they're trying to say is that this new app, Diia, has somehow distinguished Ukraine as a world leader in e-governance, all right? In electronic governance innovation. Together with the USAID, which is run by a woman named Samantha Powers, who used to be the US ambassador back in the Junior Bummer reign. So anyway, without further ado, let me just play this short video, and then we're going to bring out a couple of scripts so you can get a proper understanding of what this is. This is a foreshadowing of the MOTB. As we've always said, this is to show you, once again, that they're getting ready to not just to implement these apps in these countries, but also to bring those to these Western countries like America, Great Britain, France, Germany, and their fellow allies. All right. So let's have a quick watch of this video. Now, this is the woman you're going to see that's been interviewed. Her name is Samantha Powers. She's the head of the USAID. All right. She's the head of USAID, and she used to be the United Nations ambassador for America during the Obama reign. So she's the head of the USAID. She's the one that's going to help bring this app to the Western world. You see, Ukraine is a trial run. They're using these as training grounds before they bring these apps to the West. But this is a foreshadowing of the MOTB. So without further ado, here it is.
The things that Congress has given USAID since this full-scale invasion began is an unprecedented amount of money in direct budget support, which sounds kind of obvious. Of course, we would do that. We want to stand with Ukraine, but it's totally unprecedented, this kind of scale of investment. And we're talking along the lines of about $15 billion in a sense, cash to the Ukrainian government, which was famously corrupt, in past years and still has work, as you noted, to do on corruption today. I don't know if we could have gotten that money out of Congress if not for.
Openly admits, right, that that Ukraine is famously corrupt, and she said it still is corrupt today, and still has a lot of work to do today. And think about this: America has donated nearly $200 billion to this famously corrupt country called Ukraine. The United Kingdom has probably given them about £5 billion. France and Germany and the rest of those countries, probably another 100 billion euros to a country that's famously corrupt and still corrupt today and still got a lot of work to do out of her own mouth. Remember, she's the head of US aid. That's what she said, right? She's the head of US aid. Let's listen to her again. But all of this money, the cash that they're providing them, is being provided through this app called the Diia app. DIIA app.
Which was famously corrupt, in past years, which was famously corrupt,
You hear that?
in a sense, cash to the Ukrainian government, which was famously corrupt, in past years and still has work, as you noted, to do on corruption today. I don't know if we could have gotten that money out of Congress if not for Diia. Because what Diia allows us to do is that direct budget support goes, yes, to the Ukrainian government, but then it goes to pay teachers, to pay healthcare workers, to pay first responders. And there's a digital trail. It's not, some official deciding this or that. It actually is going directly into the bank accounts in a manner that just, it would have been untraceable in a prior regime.
2 years ago, we created a digital passport in a smartphone, a document one should not leave at home. Ukraine is the first country in the world to equate a digital passport with a physical one.
We've always told you this, right? This is a foreshadowing of the MOTB. This app is what's going to evolve to the microchip via the CBDC system, this whole digital system, central bank digital currency. And we've always told you that the app itself is going to have your passport, your driving license, your social security number. In England, we call it national insurance number. It's going to have your work history, your criminal history. It's going to be your digital wallet. So the whole system is going to go digital. The money is going to go digital. You're going to start using it through an app like this Diia app. Then it's going to evolve to the microchip. So this Diia app is a foreshadowing of the mark of the beast, of the microchip. Look up the word foreshadowing. Prophecy. It's a warning to where we're going.
Having a digital passport in Diia, Ukrainians can open bank accounts, receive money transfers, pick up postal packages, board trains and planes within Ukraine, etc. Using digital passport in Diia is secure and reliable. You can check its validity with the help of a QR code in the application. This feature is available for any Diia user. We got rid of endless paper trail, certified by handwritten signatures. In 2 simple clicks, Ukrainians are able to use certified copies of their important documents in institutions and even when checking into a hotel.
All going to start through the app. All going to start through a digital system. An app is going to be used on your phone. Then it's going to evolve to the microchip, the MOTB. The mark of the beast is not sin. It's not hegemony. It's not sleeping with the white woman. It's not the Vatican. The mark of the beast is the microchip. And once you have taken that microchip, you would have created a sin where you cannot be forgiven for, that you will be destroyed, during the judgment. There is no going back once you've accepted and received the microchip into your forehead or in your hand. But this is a foreshadowing of where it's all going. So this Diia in DC conference that took place in Washington, DC yesterday is because now they're promoting this to other countries to use now, because it's fully operational in Ukraine. And it has been, I believe, for the last 12 months, fully operational. So now the conference that they kept in Washington, DC last week was for them to promote this to be used in other countries now.
The documents are stored in PDF format and have a date and notice from organization that had received it. Diia. Simple, invisible, humane.
That's what they're going to say about the microchip. It's simple, invisible, and humane. Trust me. They're going to say the same thing about the microchip. It will say the microchip. They're going to say simple injection, secure, and humane. They're going to say the exact same thing about the microchip. Once it goes from the app on your phone to the microchip itself, they're going to use the exact same words.
Diia. Simple, invisible, humane.
Simple injection, invisible, it's under your skin, and it's humane. Oh, you won't get infected by it, it's safe, and so forth and so on. It won't cause any infection in your hand. They're going to say the exact same thing about the microchip. But this Diia is a foreshadowing of it, because you're going to use this new system through an app before it evolves to the microchip, before it migrates to the microchip. And they're going to use the exact same words you see here. Simple. It's simple. Chip injection. Boom. Takes 2 seconds. Invisible. Under your skin. No one can't see it. And humane. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about polluting the world with all of these devices and paper that we got to print. Trust me. So listen to what this reporter says.
Maine.
Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. Sorry you had to suffer through that. That was USAID Director Samantha Power speaking at a conference in Washington, D.C. this week. The conference was held to promote a U.S.-supported digital ID mobile app being utilized in Ukraine called the Diia app. According to our next guest, the app was built by Google and Visa under the watch of USAID, which...
The app was built by who? Google and Visa. Who are Google and Visa? Two major American conglomerate companies. Google and Visa are the ones behind this. Private corporations working alongside government. Private and government working alongside together. All right? Google and Visa. And it was rolled out in Ukraine 12 months ago. So it's been in fully use for 12 months now. So now they're pushing it to other countries. This is what this conference was about in Washington, D.C. last week.
Should start setting off alarm bells for everyone already. The U.S. government's funding the salaries of Ukrainian workers through the app, which digitizes medical...
It should start setting off alarm bells for everybody. It should start setting off... Let me play that again. She said it should start setting off alarm bells for everyone. Are you listening, IUIC? Are you listening, ISP UK? Are you listening, WFI, Watchman for Israel? The mark of the beast is the microchip, and this app is a foreshadowing of it. The mark of the beast is not sin, because not all sins, the judgment, for not all sins, the judgment is death, right? We know that, right? You could commit a sin of stealing something, the judgment is not death, sorry. It's not the Vatican. It's not sleeping with white women, with Edomites, right? It's not hegemony. It's not a deal between one country and another. The mark of the beast is the microchip. And this Diia app is a foreshadowing to make you truly understand. Listen to what the lady says again. She said, you should be worried, concerned.
In Washington, D.C. this week. The conference was held to promote a U.S.-supported digital ID mobile app being utilized in Ukraine called the Diia app. According to our next guest, the app was built by Google and Visa under the watch of USAID, which should start setting off alarm bells for everyone already.
Should start setting off alarm bells for everybody already. Why did she say that? The app was built by Google and Visa, right? In cooperation with USAID. USAID is a government department. The United States Aid. The head of that is Samantha Powers, the woman that we saw being interviewed. Should start setting off alarm bells.
The U.S. government's funding the salaries of Ukrainian workers through the app, which digitizes medical records, banking information, biometric data, and almost every other aspect of a person's life.
What did we say to you? What did we say that the microchip's going to be doing? It's going to have every aspect of your life on the microchip. The driving license, your banking details, your work history, your criminal history. It's going to have your passport on it. It's going to become your digital wallet. Every aspect of your life is going to be on the microchip. So first it's going to come in the form of that app that you can use on your smartphone. And then from the smartphone, it's going to evolve. It's going to migrate to the microchip. I hope you can see the pattern. This is a true foreshadowing of the mark of the beast. They're telling you exactly what they're going to do. But first it's going to come via an app, a digital app, because all things are going digital. And then I believe, and I've always said this, that they're going to create a 9/11 event, or what we refer to as a black swan event. Now, it doesn't say that in the Bible, they're going to create a 9/11 event to introduce a microchip, although we know that the microchip is going to go global. But I believe for them to push this fast and quickly, they're going to create a 9/11 event, a black swan event, to push it on the whole world. But they're showing you here, these are the steps. You're going to get the whole world used to the app, used to the digital platform, used to digital currency before something's going to happen where the microchip is going to become mandatory for you to go from A to B, for you to buy or sell, just like what the Bible says. Just like what the Bible says.
Banking information, biometric data, and almost every other aspect of a person's life. This app has been called the State in a Smartphone, and it connects about 19 million Ukrainians to over 120.
Yeah, the app has been called the State in a Smartphone. The state and private corporations coming together. The app was created by Google and Visa. The state as well. It was a partnership with the US government and Google and Visa. So the app has been referred to as the state, the government in a smartphone. Soon it will be the government in a microchip.
Government services and allow citizens to access those services such as an aspect of a person's life. This app has been called the State in a Smartphone, and it connects about 19 million Ukrainians to over 120 government services and allows citizens to access those services such as applying for state benefits. The agency plans to introduce this app in other countries as well. Though some
You hear that? The agency plans to introduce this app in other countries as well. So they're going to fully digitalize these other countries for them to use this app before it comes to the big Western societies like Britain, France, Germany, America, South America, Canada. You heard what she said? Let's listen to again what she says.
those services such as applying for state benefits. The agency plans to introduce this app in other countries as well, though some populations may not be so keen on giving the state complete access to all their most sensitive and private data. And while the U.S. government bankrolls Ukraine's economy at the expense of the U.S. economy, we're still waiting for the anticipated counteroffensive against Russia to commence.
One of the things that Congress has given USAID.
And that's Samantha Powers. She's the head of USAID, what we just saw earlier. All right. So anyway, let me bring out a few precepts. I hope you can see this, man. I hope you can see this, what we are talking about. When anyone tells you that the mark of the beast is anything else but the microchip, they are completely going off. Everything that the government and the private enterprises are doing, everything that they are building, the end result is going to be the microchip. Everything, as you can see, it's going digital for it to go to the microchip. So let me bring out a few. Let me bring out a few precepts here. I want to go to, hold on, Psalms 64. We've got to bring out a few precepts, right? Prayer for deliverance from secret enemies. Who are the secret enemies? The Illuminati, the elites. Those are the secret armies, the shadow governments that control the bankers. Those are your secret enemies, all working behind the scenes. The private corporations, all working behind the scenes to bring in the MOTB. But first, it's going to come in the form of an app, as you can quite clearly see. And the Diia app, which has been launched in Ukraine, has been running for the last 12 months, is now being pushed to be used in other countries, as you heard the reporter say. So, a Psalm of David, Psalm 64, verse 1. We're going to read a few verses down, probably down to about verse 5. It says here, hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. The enemy. Who is your enemy? Your numero uno enemy is the Edomites, the elites of Esau, who run the world alongside the other elites of the other nations. But the elites of Esau are the ones that are in charge. But they are in cahoots with the elites of other nations. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. That's the Illuminati. That's the bankers. That's the elites of society. That's the secret counsel of the wicked that are going to use this app in preparation for the microchip. Now, they may give it a different name when they push it into other Western countries. We're yet to see. But it's all going to be based on the same thing. They got to get you used to having everything in one place before they can put the microchip on you. They got to get you used to this total digital platform, digital currency, before they can push the microchip. And like I said, I believe they're going to create a black swan event. Look, if we look up, just so you can see, black swan event. Black swan events. A black swan event is a high impact event that is difficult to predict under normal circumstances, but that in retrospect appears to have been inevitable. Now, can you see the inevitability of the microchip coming? Can you see why everything's going digital? Why money's going digital? Why they've built this app to put all of your information on it, for you to use it via your smartphones before the Black Swan event takes place, for them to introduce a microchip. It's predicted, prophesied in the Bible that this is going to take place. A high impact event that is difficult to predict under normal circumstances, but that in retrospect appears to have been inevitable. A Black Swan event is unexpected and therefore difficult to prepare for, but it's often rationalized with the benefit of hindsight as having been unavoidable. This is going to be unavoidable, the microchip, because the Bible prophesies that it's going to take place. So we have that hindsight. What's the hindsight that we have? Is the Bible. So for any camp organization to continue to profess that the mark of the beast is everything else but the microchip, they are preaching falsehoods. Falsehoods. Remember the Lord says, Job 16, I think 16 and 16, the deceived and the deceiver are mine. They are deceiving you, but they are in the Lord's hands. The Lord said, I think it's Job, we're going to go back to Psalms. I think it's Job 16. I believe it's Job 16. 16 and 16. I know it's Job. Job 12 and 16. I knew 16 was there. It says, with him is strength and wisdom, with the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The deceived, those that are going to continue to believe, those camps that are preaching that the mark of the beast is sin, it's hegemony, it's an agreement between two countries, it's the Vatican or the Catholic Church, or it's the sleeping with the white woman. They are the deceived. And the deceiver is the ones that are preaching that and telling you that the mark of the beast is everything else but the microchip. Oh, they're the Most Highs. They're the Most Highs. So those that will believe those camps like IUIC, ISP UK, WFI, that are teaching this nonsense of a doctrine, those that are being deceived by them, and those that are preaching it, the deceiver, are all the Most Highs. All praise the Diia Bashim Yahushai. Let's go back here. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, the Illuminati, the bankers, the elites, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. They're preparing this whole thing, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who are the perfect? Who are the ones that they really want to destroy? Are the children of Israel. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. The Black Swan event. I believe they're going to create a Black Swan event to bring in the microchip. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. This whole system, digital system, is a snare to draw you into this trap that's going to eventually lead you to the microchip. They say, who shall see them? So they bring out this app in somewhere like Ukraine in the middle of a war. They, in a sense, they force it upon the people. They've got the whole world sympathizing with Ukraine and their plight. They use these Ukrainians as a perfect example. So the elite are saying, who shall see us? We'll introduce it in the middle of the war in Ukraine. We'll force it on them because their system is collapsed. So we're going to bring in this new digital system. Then we're going to sell it to the world. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. The mind is deep with their wickedness. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. This is the man of lawlessness. He's getting ready. He's getting ready. Just to go straight to the point here. It says, for the mystery of iniquity does already work, and only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed. The actual wicked is Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the elites of Esau, the bankers, the ones that control everything. The Illuminati. But it's the Edomites of the Illuminati, the Edomites of the bankers. These are the wicked. They have been revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the Bible, the scriptures, the prophecy. We're going to consume them with this word, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. Esau, the Edomites, the elites of Esau, the Illuminati, the 13 families of Esau that control the world, from the Rothschilds coming down. Even him who's coming after the working of Satan, with all power and signs of lying and wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, because they think they're going to win this shit. But the Lord is going to let them implement this plan to fulfill prophecy before we go to the last major prophecy, the War of Armageddon. And then obviously the angels and the Lord are going to have to turn up in the midst of that war, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth. The truth is that the mark of the beast is the microchip. You're going to be damned if you don't believe that truth. If you take the microchip, you're going to be damned. But had pleasure in unrighteousness, you're going to be damned. How are you going to be damned? Let's just bring it up. Those that don't have pleasure in the truth, they're going to be damned. Revelations 14 makes it quite clear. We're probably going to close it here. Doom for the worshippers of the beast. What did Apostle Paul say? That they all might be damned. Let's look at that word damned. Let's see if it means anything else. Let's see if it's talking about where they have reservoirs, where they build a dam for a reservoir to stop the water flowing so they can control the flow of water. Let's see if it's talking about a reservoir.
Strong's G 2919, Krino.
Okay. To be of an opinion, deem, to approve, esteem, to pick out, select, to choose, to be judged, i.e. summoned to trial, that one's case may be examined and judgment passed upon it. To pronounce judgment, to subject to censure of those who act the part of judges or arbiters in matters of common life, or pass judgment on the deeds and words of others. They're going to be damned. Let's go back to Revelations 14 and 9. And then the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall receive, let's say that, receive his mark, his microchip in the forehead or in his hand, to receive something. Do you understand what I'm saying? It can't be sin. The Vatican Church, sleeping with the white woman, hegemony. You're going to receive something personally. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, the nuclear missiles, the nuclear war, the destruction, in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, because Yahushua and the angels are going to deliver the elect out of the fire and brimstone. But for those of you that are going to take the microchip, that still don't believe that the mark of the beast is a microchip, and when everything goes digital, when you're forced to choose, you're going to accept it and say, whoa, they told me it wasn't a microchip. Well, you're going to be destroyed in the presence of the Lord's angels and the Lord himself, because they're going to come to deliver the elect out of that fire and brimstone. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, which is the microchip. Here is patience. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. The faith of Yahushua. Simple as that. Because him that's coming in that white cloud is Yahushua. So Let me grab. Oh, we actually just read that. That's the spirit. But we read that Psalm 64. Adam Nana, we read that earlier. But let me just read this one here, Psalms 37 and 7. Adam Nana, rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. And what is that wicked device that they're getting ready to bring to pass? Is the microchip. That's the foreshadowing. I hope you understood and you can see where this is all going. It's as clear as day. You wipe a looking glass, I can see it as clear as day. Simple. So we're going to finish it there. I pray you are edified. The foreshadowing of the MOTB, the Diia in the DC conference. The Diia is the app. They're promoting it to other countries to use now. And they had a massive conference in Washington about it last week. So, shalom, shalom, shalom. As always, I want to give you the praises and the glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Yahweh is the Most High's name, which means he is to be. Yahweh Shai is the Son, which means he deliverer. That's the Hebrew names of the Father and the Son. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone, our teachers and our leaders in this truth, who are leading us in truth and spirit and sincerity. And shalom to my fellow Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, the hopeful elect of Israel. For those of you that are truly woken up to this truth and have repented and converted and come back to your true heritage in the name of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace be unto you, brothers and sisters. All praises and glory. All praises and glory.